Hello, my name is Zodiac EXE, and welcome to the update guide. This is going to just be a little video series, actually a remake from the previous forum, of just kind of the general update process to, it serves as a visual guide that you can follow along with week to week and get your updates in, get them in properly, and make sure you can spend everything you want to spend and be the best player you can be. Uh, I am intending for this to be more geared toward new players, but if you are experienced, you can still follow along with, a lot of what, a lot of what we're doing. Um, this is, like I said, this is a remake of the previous forum. This is probably only going to be up for a season or two because the forum portal or the portal just got announced yesterday. Uh, so if you're watching this in season 58 or 59 or so, um, you're probably using the portal by then. So do that instead. For those watching in the present, though, welcome. And we're going to get started. Excuse me, first of all, with if you're a new player and you've been doing tasks prior to this week, like your activity checks and your weekly trainings, even Lucky Charm and Intro PT, you're going to want to get those in first if you haven't already. And this is assuming this is your first update. If it's not, then, of course, if you already posted all those and those have been updated, you can skip ahead as well. But starting off, we're going to look and see like finding the posts you've made before. And that's pretty simple. A lot simpler than it was on the old form. All you need to do is go up to the top right here, and you can just click View My Posts. And it should take you right there. There might be a redirect as well. And yeah, this is essentially what you're looking for. This is, you can see up in the checklist, which I'll get to in a second. This is week 402. But if you need, some week 401 stuff, like your activity check, you can just, click right there. It'll take you right to it. I like to just click that to make sure that the link goes properly, and then you can just copy paste from there. And, same with transactions, same with previous, activity checks, previous weekly trainings, your free weekly training, free glove if you're a new user. And yeah, I'll go ahead and open up the player updater tool, which you'll see here. This is what we're going to be using to structure our update. Since we don't have the portal yet, it's not automatic. It just takes data from your roster page. We'll get to that in a second. Since I'm a pitcher, I'll do that. I already have my link in there, but I'll go through how to put it in a little bit. And for these weekly trainings, let's say you need AC 401, and then I'll go back and I will grab activity check number 401, click that, copy the link from your search bar, paste it right there, set the TPE to be correct, and make sure you check the box. And you'll just do that. You can add as many rows as you need to. Just make sure the name of the task, the link to it, make sure you check the box, and make sure you get the correct amount of TPE. And that goes as well for, let me see if I can find it. Let me go back to the home page. Goes well for your Lucky Charm and your Intro PT, if you have those done. Those will be on this claim thread. So if you go to, I'll go back and restart from the beginning to kind of explain it. Go to the home page, scroll down to Point Tasks under Player Development, and then scroll down to claims. If you're watching this in season 56, that'll be S55 claims. If you're watching this in the future, it'll basically be the claims from the season before if you're doing it now. And these are from previous seasons, so you'll probably want to scroll most of the way down, I believe. Yeah, and you can see here, Intro PT, if you see your name listed, that means it's been graded, you're good to go. You can just click the number on the right here, and then grab that, say intro PT, paste the link. Let's say I got 9 TPE, the max amount, and you're good. But we'll come back to that. Just remember these, go through these. We'll come back and I'll re-add some of those and show you how that works. Because obviously, if this is your first time using that, you won't have your link in there yet. So we'll come back to that. But that's the process we'll be going through for any extra claims like previous ACs, Intro PT, Lucky Charm, and anything you've done prior to the spring training week. But speaking of that, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, with the easiest thing you'll do every week, the activity check. You can see we have our point task checklist in the top left, and we'll start with the activity check since, it's the easiest. All you need to do is to just make a new reply, and then you can type in whatever you want. Usually, no one really checks it. They just check to make sure it's you posting it. But you can also just do your player name and the emote for whichever team you're currently part of, or if you want to add it, if you're, a minor league prospect, but you've been drafted into the majors already, you can add both. I usually do that just for fun. I'm in the majors, so I just pick the Sea Serpents, and then I go down here and I click post reply. Okay. And you see that's right there, and that's all posted. And you can see it crosses it off up here, and if I go back to the home page and then I click on that, it'll actually take me right to that post, so I can just immediately copy that link into the Player Updater tool when it's time. One other thing that you'll be doing week to week that isn't showing up on the checklist yet, and probably won't until we move to the portal, is weekly training. So you'll go down here to player transactions. Obviously, if you're in the majors, you'll pick Major League Players Transactions. In the minors, you'll pick the Minor League Player Transactions. But the process is the same either way. You go into that. You find your team. My team right now is the Seattle Sea Serpents, so I'll click there. And then a new reply. Say weekly training. Now, if you were just drafted into the minors, you are only allowed to do the 500K training, which is worth 3 TPE. And that's what every first-year player will be doing up until the beginning of next season. If you're watching this guide on repeat, though, if you've been drafted into the majors, you have a major league team, or if you're a free agent and could be picked up by a major league team, you can do the 1 million weekly training, which is worth 5 TPE. And all that really changes. All you really have to keep in mind is it'll change what you need to do in the update portal if you're doing the 500K training, which I'll be sure to call out when we do that. So for now, weekly training, however much you're spending on it, either 500K or 1 million, and then click post reply. And of course that gets posted and everything's all good there. One thing to also note, I'm going to just go in here and go into full edit real quick. If you haven't purchased equipment yet, you can purchase equipment starting from the beginning of the season, which would have been the previous week to this one. Or if it's an extended off season, 2 weeks. You can buy equipment, and that resets at the beginning of every season. So in my case, as a beyond first year player, I can do the maximum Hall of Fame equipment, which would be 18 million plus 45 TPE. As a rookie or first year player, you can do rookie equipment for 5 million plus 15 TPE. And there are a bunch of tiers in the middle as well. If you, say if you're, you know, a second or third year player, you haven't your bank isn't quite built up yet, and you can't afford Hall of Fame equipment yet, there are middle tiers. If you go to available purchases on the sidebar here, you can see those tiers. There's 5 different tiers. They go up in roughly increments of 3 million, and you get differing amounts of TPE for each. And you can upgrade in between tiers, you know, as, you know, if you find yourself with a bit more money. But yeah. So if you need equipment, you can also do that on this post. I don't, I've already bought it, so I'll leave that be. With those two done, I think now is a perfect time to go through the player updater tool. You'll find it on the sidebar, like I showed you before. And then you pick which, you know, whether you're a hitter or pitcher. I'm a pitcher, so I'll go here. You'll see this link here. That's the link to my roster page. This is how the updater tool is able to tell how much TPE you have, what your build looks like, and all that good stuff. In order to find that, we'll go back to the home page of the forum, and you'll want to scroll down to whichever team you're on. I am a member of the Seattle Sea Serpents, so I will go in there. I'll go to roster, and I'll scroll down until I find my player, Arya Blue Sky. Click that, and then just copy the link straight from there. And you'll see I'll hit paste and the link won't change because it's the same link. But yours will look empty, and then you paste it, and then it'll hit get link. Done properly, it should look like this. It should show your username, should show how much TP you have banked, and it should show your current build. And it would look the same for hitters, just, you know, different ratings. Everything looks correct. You can simply input how much TPE you've earned and copy and paste the links yourself, but it's generally a good idea, at least to start with, to put the links into the site. And I'm starting with training here because it's not on the checklist. It's harder to go directly to it. I say that as I have moved away from it. So I'm just going to navigate back there using Find My Posts like I showed before. I go right to it doing this. Make sure to click the number to make sure the link is correct. Copy the link and paste it. Make sure I get the week's number in there. Make sure I check the box. And if you're doing the 500K training, make sure you lower the TPE in this box to 3. It defaults to 5 because that's what the majority of users will be doing with it. But if you're doing the 500K training, if you're a first-year player, make sure you lower that to 3 so it doesn't, you know, so the updater doesn't tell you, hey, you're 2 TPE over, and, you know, I need to take something out of something you updated this week. That's, you know, that's just not fun. But with that done, I'm going to go ahead and go back using the checklist. I'll go back to my activity check post, and it goes right in there. Copy the link from the search bar, paste it, number 402, check the box. And the activity check TPE will very rarely change. Activity check 400 previously, since that's relevant, is 6 TPE. But either you'll have already claimed it, or we'll be putting that down here in the other category. Speaking of the other category, though, since we'll be getting into the week-specific TPE tasks, starting with spring training. Spring training is exactly the same as an activity check, except it's just, you know, more TPE because it's a specific time of year. So just make a new reply. And I do the same exact thing. I just name, team, hit post reply. Make sure the link is correct by clicking the number, copy the link, and paste it down in the other column. I'll make a note of what it is, which is S56 Spring Training. check the box, and make sure I put 5 TPE down there. And then the other thing that's immediately claimable this week, which is kind of where I'll stop, because for prime time for season predictions, I'll go over them and how they work, but the actual predictions probably won't come until later on in the week. So if you want to check back on like Thursday or Friday, your minors team, your majors team should have some good predictions for you. But going to cover athlete nominations. Cover athlete, you'll see this top banner has been changing kind of with every reload, and occasionally, if I can catch it at the right time, occasionally it will load into one of our cover athletes. This season, Colby Kaufman is one of them. Pitcher for the Surge, and I believe we also have, I think this is a throwback as well, or this previous season was a throwback. Anyway, most years it will be, oh yeah, it's right here, Colby Kaufman and Penny Cowers. Most years it'll be one hitter and one pitcher, and we'll go right into the cover athlete nominations, which takes you to a Google form. So, Google form, very simple to fill out. It just needs your form username, the team you currently play for. For me, that'll be the Seattle Sea Serpents. And the only stipulation is you can't nominate someone who's already been a cover athlete. I am going to be a complete homer here, and I'm going to pick a couple of sea serpents that I feel are deserving. And then it'll ask you for a confirmation word. I usually pick submitted. This is a word you'll then post on the form. It can be whatever you want, but just for safety, I usually type it in and then copy it. Just to make sure I don't make a typo and things get weird. And then once you have everything in there, just click submit. You're good there. Go back to the forum and the thread, make a new reply, and then simply type in or paste in whatever confirmation word you did and post that reply. And then you're good. Unlike most Google Form-based tasks, you can claim this immediately for however much for the 1 TPE it's worth. So I'll make sure, click the number to get the link correct, copy the link, add another row to other, paste the link in, S57 cover athlete nomination for 1 TPE. And then if you have nothing else previously to add, you're good. You can hit submit, you can edit your build, you can do whatever you want from there. If you want to get build advice before you do that, you're absolutely welcome to. If you have a build in mind and you want to build toward that, good to do that as well. I will add a couple more other rows just to once again kind of show what you'd do if you're adding previously. And I'll do 2 examples of that. I'll go to, click the top right, go to view my posts. Let's say you need activity check 400. Let's say activity check 400 is one you need. Go down, I'll find activity check 400, click the post title, should take me right to it. Click the number to make sure the link is correct. Copy and paste. Make sure you check the box. AC 400 worth 6 TPE. And you'll see the TPE earned increases as well as you check the boxes. And the other one I'll be showing is, again, Intro PT or Lucky Charm if I can find it. That's, I haven't worried about that since I was a rookie. But scroll down, go to point tasks, and then go to S55 claims. Scrolling to the bottom, I assume Lucky Charm is still tracked on here. I assume, unless that's kept on the Lucky Charm page now. Hang on. That may be kept on the Lucky Charm task page now. Yes, it is. Okay, so for Lucky Charm task, you'll want to go to the actual Lucky Charm task thread. And then, obviously, you find your name on here. Let's say I was part of this claim that happened here. You'll be added. There will be a little ping on this little bell, and that should take you right to it. But again, you click the number there to make sure the link is correct. Copy the link, paste it in there, check the box, Lucky Charm task, and the 3 TPE that's worth. And then you do the same. Intro PT, I showed earlier, is on the claim thread. Any trainings and equipment you've bought previously will show up in your posts, like the activity check. And overall, you should be able to get everything that way. I don't believe there's anything else there. So I'm just going to uncheck these boxes so they won't show up on my update. Because obviously I've already claimed AC 400, and that's not even my Lucky Charm. Let's go to submit. I am going to go ahead and apply some TPE to my build. Just to kind of show how it's done, give me one moment very quickly to find what I'm planning for my build to look like. Okay, so I'm going to raise my control against lefties up to 95. And then, let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I'm getting the correct amount here. 52 here. Okay. Then update me, and then it will spit out some text here. And then it does tell you to use Control-Shift-V. There's some formatting issue with the forum if you're using just the typical text, and then I am a Firefox user, so it doesn't always want to paste perfectly anyway. But what I'll do, I will copy all the text from here down, and then I'll go back to the forum, go here, and then scroll down to my update page, which finding it is the exact same as we did earlier with one difference. So go down, find whichever team you're part of. Instead of going to roster, go to updates, which is where your update thread should be. If it hasn't been moved if you don't see it on here, you either need to create it, which there's other videos showing you how to do that. You can even just make a new topic in here to do it. Sorry. Or if it needs to be moved from unassigned player transactions, you can go there, you can find it there, you can post your update, and then you can just ping your GMs saying, hey, my update page still needs to be moved. It needs to be in the actual team updates page in order to be updated, so, just make sure it gets done. So go in there, make a new reply, and then do Control-Shift-V. Yours should look a little cleaner. Since I'm on Firefox, I have to manually add some new lines for it to look perfect. But yeah, then you go down here, hit Post Reply, and that's that. That's your update. If you want to make sure everything's good, you can check all the links yourself. Yep, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. But yeah, every Sunday, the update team will go through your page, make sure all the links work, make sure all the TPE spent, the math works out, and just overall making sure that everything is in order. They'll send that off to Sim Team, who puts those changes into OOTP, and your player improves. I think that's everything instant claim. And I'll just cap off by showing how the predictions tasks work. So going to primetime week 1, this is 8 matchups between major league teams that you essentially just need to predict who's going to win each one. And how you do that is, I'm going to go ahead and close these up. You click the link here, it'll take you to a Google form. Hit next. Check this box that says you'll post in this thread after you've made your predictions, because that's the way they know that you've done it, and that it's you doing it. Enter in your form username, and then for each one you'll just pick whichever team you think is going to win. Like, for example, if I scroll down to here, May 17th, New York Voyagers at Seattle Sea Serpents, I think my Sea Serpents are going to win that one. And you just go through the list, pick whichever teams you think are going to win, click submit, go back here, and make a reply on here. Again, I usually just like to do submitted. You can make it whatever you want, though. Post that reply when you're done, and you'll have that submitted. That's not an instant claim. That's one that will be on the claim thread, which brings together a few different tasks and just is the TPE, and you claim it like you did with Intro PT, for example. And then season predictions is very much the same. You go through, click here, it takes you to a Google form. Click next, check the box, enter your form username, and then it'll go through division by division, and all you need to do is select who you think is going to win each one. Let me go to the Champions West and say, I think my Seattle Sea Serpents are going to finish first. I think the Toros will be second. I think Death Valley will be third, and New Orleans will be fourth. These are just examples. I'm throwing them out there. These aren't actual predictions. These are just examples. But once you're done, you click next, or if this is the Champions West, which is the last division, it'll click submit. And the same thing, you go in here, new reply, type in what you want, hit post reply, and you're done. You'll see that TPE come to you at the end of the season once all the division standings have shaken out. And I believe that is everything. That's how you update for spring training week in the PBE on our new forum. And just as a disclaimer at the end here, this is not a replacement for asking for help. If there's anything at all in this guide that was confusing, ask your GMs. Your GMs, they're there to help you. They will be more than happy to walk you through it. If anything was confusing, if you have questions on absolutely everything, even if you have questions not related to this guide, like, say, your build, what should you do with your build, ask them. They're there to help you. And that will do it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for the Week 1 updates.